What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be reacting to 7 drivers who can become NASCAR superstars. Now, this was requested by one of my Patreon members. I'm excited to get into this video. I'm intrigued to see which 7 drivers they're going to be talking about here. So I'm just going to shut up and we'll get straight into it.
There's been a lot of talk when it comes to superstars in NASCAR and the different problems of not having any right now. How back in the day, guys like Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr., Tony Stewart, and others would carry the 2000s. Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace in the 90s. And there's a lot of talk of how the young guys today aren't doing that. But I want to talk solutions. I want to talk about 7 different drivers that I think could become superstars if the setting is correct.
Right, okay.
Now, I will say that this does not mean that it's just going to be the ones who are popular now. There's some drivers who are popular now who, just because of either one thing or another, will not be superstars outside of the sport. And that, to me, is what constitutes a superstar. Somebody that a non-NASCAR fan can name off and recognize pretty easily. So let's jump right on into it. Now, starting off in the fringes, we'll go Ryan Blaney. Blaney is somebody who has shown a lot of personality when it comes to interviews, going on different shows and things like that, and I think is very palatable when it comes to the mainstream. Blaney isn't somebody who is necessarily going to be a clean-cut guy that everyone is just going to look at as corporate, but he's also not going to be somebody that is just a stereotype of the sport. He seems very open to media, and when it comes to him on the track, the dude is Mr. Clutch. He can win in some of the most clutch ways and some of the most nail-biting ways.
He is a very good driver.
If there is a wider audience to pay attention to how he does, they're going to get a thrill out of Mr. Blaney's win. And let's be honest, add to this too, he's engaged to the Miss Hooters. He's basically the embodiment in NASCAR of how girls want to be with him and guys want to be him. Next is one of the fringe drivers. We have
favorite.
Ross Chastain. Chastain is amazing to watch on the racetrack.
Yeah.
He is always fun in any given way. He's been compared to Dale Earnhardt for his aggression, Swerve Irvin for his craziness, Mr. Excitement for just the kind of down-to-earth but also exciting, reckless driver. And he is known by many for the viral Hail Melon, as well as fighting Noah Gragson at Kansas. He is in every way the driver that NASCAR fans ask for. He is great and relatable when it comes to his story and the way he had to work his way up from being a watermelon farmer to now a superstar, at least on the NASCAR standard. And he is the same guy off the camera as he is on it. I speak this from experience. For drivers that doesn't fit the mold of a normal NASCAR driver and could be a superstar is Tony Breidinger. Now, this comes with the asterisk that she needs to perform. She has not done anything to prove that she can perform at a high level and win races, but I will give her the benefit of the doubt going into her career at the top levels. She has a huge social media presence, 2.6 million followers and counting on Instagram. She has tons of funding, and on top of that, being a woman in the sport of auto racing, especially in NASCAR, she's going to stand out. If she performs, she can be, I think, a bigger talent, or at least driver, than that of Danica Patrick in her heyday. A theme of this video is drivers
SVG.
that don't fit
I had a feeling he'd show up in this.
Driver, and that really fits SVG, Shane Van Gisbergen. He is huge on the international racing scene, and I've seen it in my analytics. Whenever he does well, my analytics worldwide go up. So he's a superstar in that way, but I think when we're talking about superstars in NASCAR, we really do have to focus on the American audience, just because that's where the biggest section of potential NASCAR fans really is at this time. He won at Chicago, made a name for himself on a big stage, as many people who are NASCAR fans were watching in at that time, and he's just genuinely a likable person to root for out there. He's not somebody who seems smug. He can let his emotions get the best of him, but he is really funny with it too. Just ask, well, maybe not Austin Hill, but ask anyone who doesn't like Austin Hill. And with that and the way that NASCAR is formed with the playoffs now and the wins being so important, it's not like Marcus Ambrose or Juan Pablo Montoya where you win a road course but it really doesn't matter. He'd make the playoffs and get plenty of press because of that in Cup.
Yeah.
Entering the top 3 of guys that I really think could actually break through and be superstars without too much help is Raja Karuth. Raja Karuth is the most popular driver in the Truck Series from 2024,
Oh, he does
and
Truck
it's pretty
Series.
easy to see why. The guy has a ton of talent out there, is getting better with time, doing it the right way, and he is also great when it comes to being a modern
He's with
NASCAR driver,
Hendrick.
and modern athlete in any sport in general. He's somebody who's very good with social media. He's great on camera, has a pretty good and fun personality when you are able to get him in his element, and I think he has plenty of room to grow in that as well. He's had an unconventional rise in NASCAR through the years, but he has managed to put together a pretty good career already, and if he is able to perform not being in the normal mold of a NASCAR driver in really any way, he will definitely break through to the mainstream.
Yeah.
With these last
Probably.
2 drivers,
Oh,
the
I've
big
heard
part
of
here
this
is
guy.
talent. And
I think I did
Connor
a video on
Silich
this guy,
has
actually.
a ton of talent, and it sells. He is somebody who's extremely young as well. So what he's doing right now at this age is honestly unprecedented. Yeah, we've seen guys come up through the ranks and do well before, but somebody with the amount of speed, even in trucks and Xfinity, that Connor Silich has had is something extremely rare throughout the history of NASCAR. And
Yeah.
because of that, you're going to have a lot of NASCAR fans buzzing about him and racing fans in general. Add in that he has a lot of great connections too that could really skyrocket his career early. Red Bull, for instance, is a great connection and a worldwide brand. Whether it be with Formula One or just it on its own, Red Bull is going to be able to sell him. And
Yeah,
then
so
you
I
also
wonder if
add
he'll
in
follow
JR
into NASCAR,
Motorsports and Trackhouse,
or because
being
he's got
connected
Red Bull
to it.
behind him, he'll go
Trackhouse being
elsewhere.
a new age team, one that can have a lot of public outreach to the outer groups that wouldn't normally watch NASCAR. And JR Motorsports with Dale Earnhardt Jr. giving him great equipment this year to be able to race up front and also have that backing from the most popular force ever in NASCAR with Jr. Connor Silich has superstar written all over him. It's just a matter of those around him being able to sell him and him being able to perform. And the top driver that I think is closest to breaking through right now is Kyle Larson. You probably could have told from me saying that talent sells. He has been sold in so many different ways as being the next Jeff Gordon or the next so-and-so or the possibly most talented driver on earth. And that has a double-edged sword kind of deal, but it makes people watch.
Yeah.
He's very versatile, too, with how he races, and that talent shows through, whether it be on dirt, which is a huge connection.
I can't wait to watch him attempt the double again next year.
Very fervent fan base, as well as the double he did with the Indianapolis 500 and Coke 600.
Because I feel like he could actually
again in 2025
achieve good
that
results.
Really rose his stock to a level that I don't think on the outside
Mother
of
Nature doesn't
NASCAR's
come into
fan
play
base has
again.
been seen since Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon were racing. Yes, Chase Elliott won most popular driver, but Kyle Larson closed in definitely, and we know that it was because of those outside of the normal NASCAR fan base. He makes insane and wild moves. He is the dominant force right now, and he can back up any amount of popularity he has with those moves, with those wins, and with the versatility.
Yeah.
Kyle Larson, to me, is the embodiment of talent selling in the industry.
Wow,
So with
okay.
that, I want to know what you think. Who do you think is the next superstar in NASCAR? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like on this video.
I'm trying to think who I think is going to be the next superstar. But actually, the 7 drivers that he named there are all good drivers that I probably would have said. Like, I would have said Larson. I would have said Chastain. Is that me being biased? I don't know. Connor there, I've watched a video on him. So when he brought him up, I thought, oh yeah, actually, probably him. When he mentioned SVG, I did say, I had a feeling he'd put him in this video. And to be fair, I would have said he could be the next superstar. I watched a video on his first win in NASCAR, and that was absolutely nuts. So yeah, I do agree with the drivers that he put in there. I'm interested to see what you guys think. But I did really enjoy that video. So thank you to my Patreon members for requesting this video. And with that being said, if you have any other videos that you'd like me to react to, drop them in the comments and work my way through everybody's suggestions at the moment. If you did want to check out any of my other socials or become a Patreon member and get early access to videos like this or top priority over your suggestions, then you can do all of that down below. But I hope you enjoyed today's reaction, and I will catch you next time for the next one. Bye.